How's it going, gentlemen? This is Scott McKay from X and Y Communications coming at you again with another video newsletter. Now today we're going to talk about the whole idea of women tricking you and then kind of making you out to be a bad guy because of it, when really it's not your fault at all. One very key example that I can think of when this might happen is in the world of online dating. Now, just for the record, you guys who aren't exactly into online dating, keep watching because this is going to apply to you also. But here goes the example. Several times when I was on Match.com, I would do a search and find some women in my area to email. And the best way to do that, by the way, guys, is to search for women who have just joined Match.com, because they're not exactly inundated with a bunch of emails from other guys just yet. They haven't gone on a lot of dates. And frankly, the best women online tend to get snapped up pretty darn quickly. Emily was online for all of 3 weeks, and that included the time I spent with her before she decided to take her profile down, which was about a week between the both of us. So anyway, it's always a good idea to do that search and get the women who are just getting online. But here's something very interesting about how women work in their social circles, especially their all-female friend groups together. Sometimes single women in a social circle will join Match.com together. They'll actually go ahead and decide as a unit of about 3 or 4 women that they're going to join and they're going to do this Match.com thing together. And they get online, and a guy like you, what does he do? A guy like me, what do I do? Well, if you're like me, you like pretty women, and pretty women tend to hang out together, don't they? So if this group of women decided to join Match.com together, they are either probably all pretty attractive or, well, otherwise. So here you have 3 or 4 pretty women on Match.com who decided to join at the same time, and they probably all live near each other. And if you're searching in a particular zip code, what are you going to do? You're going to find all 3 or 4 women in your search, aren't you? And what are you going to do? You're going to write to them. Now, how are you supposed to know that those women know each other? Well, sure, there are some clues. Like you can see some commonalities in their profiles, etc., that would show that they worked on it together. But notwithstanding that, it's innocent enough that you may write 2, 3, or perhaps even all 4 of those friends. And then, like what happened to me, you might start getting emails back from them going, "Hey, Mr. Player, why are you writing 2 or 3 or 4 women all at once? None of us want to go out with you because that's the kind of guy you are." Well, see, because they're new, they don't understand that just because you wrote to a particular woman doesn't mean that you're kind of anchored to her until that conversation runs its course. That's nonsense in terms of doing online dating correctly. If we guys did that, we'd never get anything done. But women, typically being the serial daters such that they are, that's the way they run things. That's the way they think in their mind. So because you reached out to all of those women, or a couple of those women, and they know each other, they're thinking the worst about you, and all of a sudden it's your fault. But is it your fault? Of course it's not. You see how that works? Now, how do you mitigate against that particular example? Well, it's really very simple. What you do is you make sure that when you write women, first of all, never use a cookie cutter opener. Never cut and paste the same thing to all those women, because, well, they're going to think that you're basically just saying that to all the girls. You know how women will say that. "I bet you say that to all the women." Well, that's exactly what you did. So they may have a solid point there because you're not really taking any of those interactions very seriously. But what I would do is I would simply space out my interactions between women who tend to live close to each other and who you even might suspect are in cahoots with each other. Spread them out over a couple days each, put them in your favorites list, and then write one, see what happens, then write the other if the other one doesn't write back to you. Now, those women may talk to each other about you, but probably not. They're not sharing the guys that they're not interested in with each other. But when one of them is interested in you, she may actually go back to the first one and say, "Hey, look at this great guy I met." That woman will either say nothing, or she'll go, "Yeah, that guy wrote to me, I didn't like him." And there's really nothing you can do about that, but at least you're off the hook for being a bad guy, probably because you went one step at a time. Again, guys, you're not a bad guy for doing this. So now, I promise you guys who aren't into online dating that I would throw something in there for you also. Guess what? Same principle works when you're in a social circle that has women in it and you want to date several of those women in the social circle. if you try to do that, not telling the other women in that social group about each other, it's going to lead to disaster, okay? Because if you go out on formal dates with those women, and you're also going out on formal dates with friends in that social circle, what's going to happen is, yes, they will tell each other. They can't help but know each other. You're not going to be able to burn that candle at both ends. So what do? Well, here's what I recommend. I'd say that you go ahead and just enjoy spending time with those women in the context of the social circle and see what they suggest to you. They may start suggesting that you hang out together. And if they can keep that secret, that's great. If not, or if you don't see them telling you that you're going to be able to keep that a secret together, then you better not date any other women in that social circle. But the better idea here is that you get to know those women in your social circle and then decide to very discreetly start going out and spending time one-on-one with one of those women. You don't call it a date or whatever, because see, what you're trying to avoid is this whole premise of you being a player in the eyes of those women. Now, in some social circles, those women might not care. They may actually offer themselves up for threesomes with the same friends in that social circle, but you're going to have to be pretty good to help affect that. That's probably an advanced video sometime later. This is Scott McKay from X and Y Communications talking at you. And oh, by the way, guys, if you want to sharpen up your online dating skills, either visit the Online Dating Domination Program at the URL you see below, www.onlinedatingdomination.com, or go ahead and contact me and have me work with you one-on-one on helping you not only shake out your profile, but learn how to write those first emails, which are all important, the right way instead of just sending them into a black hole. To do that, go to www.datetoorder.com and get signed up for the Online Dating Success Package. I'm here to help you guys. I met my lovely wife online and had lots of success online, despite, well, not really being all that attractive on paper in terms of my height, weight, age, and I'm also not very photogenic. So if I can do it, you can do it. Get in touch with me, guys. This is Scott McKay from X and Y Communications. Be good out there.